What if your body has been trying to warn you for months, and you just didn't know how to listen? As we age, the signs of something serious don't always come with loud alarms. They show up quietly, through fatigue, odd pains, weight loss, or even a change in bathroom habits. In this video, we'll talk about 6 critical warning signs your body gives when something may be wrong, especially after 60. These signs are often ignored, brushed off, or misunderstood. But knowing how to spot them can mean the difference between a small issue and a life-altering crisis. Let's talk about the symptoms that matter most and how to act before it's too late. Warning sign number 1: unexplained weight loss or loss of appetite. When was the last time you lost weight and weren't even trying? Not from dieting, not from exercise, just the pounds slipping off without explanation. Most people think of weight loss as a good thing, and for some it can be. But after 60, when your weight starts changing on its own, when your clothes feel looser and your belt suddenly needs a new hole, that can be your body whispering that something's wrong. I've seen it happen. My neighbor Walter was always a sturdy man, thick arms, big appetite. He loved to cook for the neighborhood potlucks. But one year he started to shrink. First it was his face, thinner, more hollow. Then his shirts hung looser. He blamed it on stress, said he just wasn't as hungry lately. He didn't go to the doctor. By the time he did, the diagnosis was serious: colon cancer. It had been quietly working in the background while the rest of us just thought he was finally shedding a few pounds. That experience changed how I look at weight loss. Unexplained weight loss, especially when paired with a loss of appetite, is one of the first signs doctors pay attention to in older adults. It's not something to ignore. You see, after 60, your metabolism shifts. You may naturally eat a little less, move a bit slower. But that should be gradual. If you're losing 5% of your body weight within a few months, and you didn't mean to, it's time to talk to someone. Why does it happen? Sometimes it's cancer. Other times it's digestive issues. Your body isn't absorbing nutrients like it used to. It could be thyroid problems, chronic infection, early dementia, even depression. The list is long, and none of those things should be left to guesswork. I remember once losing nearly 10 pounds in 2 months. I thought maybe it was just a change in routine. But my wife noticed I was pushing food around more than I was eating it. I wasn't full, I just wasn't interested. Turns out my medications were affecting my appetite. We changed the dose, adjusted my meals, and within weeks I felt better. But it only happened because someone noticed. Here's what to look for: clothes fitting more loosely, especially around the waist or neck. Loss of muscle, arms and legs looking thinner. Not finishing meals or skipping snacks you used to enjoy. Feeling full after just a few bites. Food tasting different or no longer appealing. These aren't just quirks of aging. They're signals your body is talking to you even when your mouth isn't. And if you're noticing these changes or someone you love is, now's the time to act. Not next month, not when the weather changes, now. And if this message is helping you see things more clearly, I'd be grateful if you liked this video and subscribe to Glowing Age. We're building a space where aging isn't about fear. It's about paying attention and taking smart action. Don't wait for weakness or pain to get your attention. If your body is losing weight without trying, that's your red flag. Make the appointment. Ask for a checkup. Get the blood work. Ask about digestive health, mental health, nutrient absorption. Rule things out or catch them early. Because early is everything. I've known people who ignored a 10-pound weight drop, thinking it was just old age catching up. Months later, they were dealing with diagnoses that might have been easier to manage if they'd spoken up sooner. So be curious, not scared, curious. Your body has carried you through decades of life. It knows how to signal when something isn't right. Losing weight without meaning to isn't just something to shrug off, it's something to respond to. And if your appetite has changed, don't brush it off. Food should still bring some joy, even if in smaller portions. If eating feels like a chore or you're suddenly skipping meals, don't stay silent. Talk to someone. Start with your doctor, start with a loved one. But whatever you do, don't ignore it. Because weight loss without cause might be the very first step in saving your life. And I want you around. I want us all to grow older with strength and intention, not regret. So eat well. Watch the scale, not for vanity, but for signals. And above all, trust your instincts. Your body knows. Listen to it. Warning sign number 2. Persistent fatigue that doesn't improve with rest. Some people say getting tired is just part of getting older. And sure, we may not have the energy we did in our 20s. But there's a difference between slowing down and shutting down. If you're sleeping all night, taking naps, and still waking up exhausted, that's not normal aging. That's your body waving a flag. I remember a time in my early 70s when I just couldn't shake the tiredness. I'd sleep 8 hours, wake up groggy, and feel like I was dragging all day. I needed to rest after making breakfast. Walking to the mailbox felt like a chore. My doctor told me, fatigue isn't a symptom to ignore, it's a story waiting to be told. He was right, we ran some tests. It turned out I had low iron. Not dangerously low, but low enough to sap my energy. That led to discovering a small internal bleed in my stomach lining, likely from years of taking anti-inflammatory medication. I never would have known if I hadn't paid attention to that fatigue. Fatigue that doesn't improve with rest is not just being tired. It can mean your body is struggling in a way you can't see. It could be anemia, low red blood cells, heart issues, your heart isn't pumping efficiently, thyroid problems, which slow everything down, depression, chronic infections, or even cancer in its early stages. Fatigue is one of the most common symptoms people ignore, especially in older adults. We don't want to complain, we say, I'm just getting older. But that mindset can cost us dearly. Here's what I noticed in myself and what you should watch for too. Needing more naps than usual. Feeling winded doing tasks you used to handle easily. Trouble focusing or feeling foggy. Losing interest in hobbies because you just don't have the energy. Mood changes linked to exhaustion. These aren't just signs of slowing down. They're possible signs that something deeper is off. And if this kind of honest, no-fluff message is helpful to you, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Glowing Age. We're not here to scare, we're here to help you pay attention. Because attention is power. One friend of mine ignored her fatigue for over a year, turned out her sleep apnea had gotten worse. Once she started treatment with a CPAP machine, her mornings changed. She was sharper, happier. Her blood pressure even improved. But she spent a whole year thinking it was just her age. If you feel like you're running on empty day after day, speak up. Ask your doctor for blood work. Mention it during your annual physical. Tell them how long it's been going on and how it's changed your life. Fatigue may not be dramatic, but it's serious, because it affects everything, your movement, your mood, your motivation, and it's not always fixed with caffeine or a nap. So please don't dismiss that constant tiredness. Don't just push through, investigate it, address it. Because your energy is not just about how much you can do, it's about how fully you can live. You deserve to feel awake in your own life. Start by listening to what your body's been whispering for weeks, or maybe months. You don't need to run a marathon, you just need to get back to feeling like you. Warning sign number 3, shortness of breath or chest discomfort. Most people think heart problems come with a dramatic warning, a crushing pain, a hand over the chest, a sudden collapse. But often, especially in seniors, the body gives a quieter warning first. Shortness of breath. I had a friend, Eid, who always prided himself on being active. He walked every day, rain or shine. But one day, he told me something strange. I get winded just bringing the groceries inside. He laughed it off, said maybe he was just getting older, but I noticed something else. He was resting more between tasks. Choosing seats closer to the door, taking the elevator instead of the stairs. A few weeks later, he was in the hospital with heart failure. He hadn't had a heart attack. He hadn't even felt chest pain. But his heart had been struggling quietly. And the shortness of breath, that was the clue. Shortness of breath isn't just about being out of shape. It can mean your heart isn't pumping properly, or your lungs aren't getting enough oxygen. It could even be a sign of fluid buildup around the heart or in the lungs, and chest discomfort. That doesn't always show up as pain. Sometimes it feels like pressure, tightness, burning, heaviness. Especially in older adults, these signs can be subtle. Here's what to watch for. Getting winded from normal activity, like walking to the mailbox or getting dressed. Needing to sit down more often during simple chores. A feeling of pressure in the chest when moving around. Waking up at night gasping or coughing. Swelling in the legs or ankles. These are red flags. And the worst thing you can do is dismiss them. Don't say, it's just age. Don't say, it'll pass. Say, I need to get this checked. Because when your heart or lungs are involved, early detection saves lives. One woman I met at a community event told me she had ignored shortness of breath for 6 months. She thought it was just her asthma, but her doctor found that her heart valves were narrowing. A quick procedure made a world of difference. She said, I didn't realize how bad it had gotten until I could finally breathe again. If you've been having trouble catching your breath or feel pressure in your chest when you move, it's time to call your doctor. Ask for an evaluation. Get a basic EKG. Ask about your oxygen levels. These are simple tests that can catch serious issues. You deserve to feel safe in your body, to breathe deeply, to move without fear. Don't let shortness of breath go unchecked. You know your body. And if something feels off, it probably is. Listen, speak up, take action. Your next breath could be the one that gives your doctor a vital clue and gives you a second chance. Don't wait for the big event. Pay attention to the little one. The one you feel walking up the stairs or bending to tie your shoes. It might be quiet, but it matters, and you're worth listening to. Warning sign number 4. Confusion, forgetfulness, or sudden mood changes. There's a kind of forgetfulness that comes with age, we all know it. You walk into a room and can't remember why. You forget a name you've known for years. You misplace your glasses and find them in the fridge. Most of the time, that's just life. A little slower recall, a little more distraction, but sometimes forgetfulness becomes something more. And when it's more, your body might be telling you it's time to see a doctor. I remember a conversation I had with my friend Linda. She said her husband, Marvin, had been more irritable lately. Short-tempered. He'd stop mid-sentence and forget what he was saying. One time he left the stove on. Another time he got lost driving home from a store he'd been going to for 20 years. She thought maybe it was stress. But something told her to dig deeper. They saw a doctor. Tests showed Marvin had experienced a series of mini strokes, small ones, too subtle to notice at the time. But they were affecting his brain. Without treatment, they could have led to something far worse. Cognitive changes, like confusion, forgetfulness, mood swings, are not just emotional. They can be physical signs that something in the brain or body is off. And they're more common than people realize after 60. Sometimes it's a mini stroke, a TIA. Sometimes it's dehydration, a urinary tract infection, a medication side effect, even low vitamin B12. Other times it's the early stages of Alzheimer's or another form of dementia. But here's the good news. When caught early, many of these issues can be managed, some even reversed. So what should you look for? Forgetting appointments or recent conversations, getting lost in familiar places, changes in mood, more anxiety, anger, or sadness, trouble following a simple recipe or routine, struggling to find the right word more off. These changes might be subtle, but they are not normal aging. They are signals, and if they show up suddenly or get worse quickly, that's your cue. Don't wait. Call your doctor. Let them run the tests. Let them look for answers. Because sometimes something as small as adjusting a medication or rehydrating the body can bring clarity back. If you're finding this message helpful, or if it's making you think of someone in your life, please like this video and subscribe to Glowing Age. We talk about real signs, not scary ones. The kind of signs that help us take care of ourselves while we still can. And if you're noticing changes in your thinking or behavior or in someone you love, please don't ignore it. It's not overreacting, it's being wise. Because catching a cognitive shift early can make all the difference. In your treatment, in your quality of life, in your independence. Your mind is still here to serve you, but if something feels different, speak up. You know when you're not quite yourself, trust that feeling, and ask for help before it turns into something bigger. You're not just saving memories, you're saving time, saving clarity, saving the version of yourself you've worked hard to become. And that version of you deserves every chance to stay present. Warning sign number 5. New or unusual pain, especially in the back, abdomen, or joints. Pain is a part of life, especially as we age. You wake up a little stiffer, knees creak going downstairs. Your back gets sore after working in the garden. Most of us brush it off. We take a pain reliever, stretch a little, and move on. But sometimes pain isn't just pain. Sometimes it's a warning sign your body is quietly trying to share. I remember the time I felt a dull ache in my lower back that wouldn't go away. It wasn't sharp, just steady. I assumed it was from lifting something wrong or maybe sleeping in a strange position. Weeks went by, it lingered. I adjusted how I walked, avoided bending too much. Finally, my wife insisted I see the doctor. It turned out to be a kidney issue, nothing dramatic, but left untreated it could have become serious. That's when I learned. When pain sticks around, especially in older adults, it deserves attention. You see, pain that's new, sudden, or doesn't go away could be more than just wear and tear. It could be your body's early warning for something deeper. Here are the types of pain that seniors should never ignore. Back pain that lingers or worsens over time. It might be spinal degeneration, kidney issues, or something affecting internal organs. Abdominal pain that's sharp, cramping, or radiating. It could mean gallbladder trouble, bowel blockages, ulcers, or worse. Joint pain with swelling or heat could be a sign of infection or severe arthritis. New or changing headaches, especially if they're more intense or frequent than usual. What many people don't realize is that as we age, our nerves don't always work the same. Sometimes pain isn't sharp or dramatic. It's dull, nagging, or simply odd. That's why your instinct matters. If something feels off, even if it doesn't hurt a lot, that's reason enough to check in. And if you're tempted to keep taking over-the-counter pills day after day just to mask it, be careful. That might be doing more harm than good. Pain medication can hide symptoms and cause stomach or kidney issues if used too often. Let me say this clearly: persistent pain is not something to push through. It's something to learn from. You know your body better than anyone. When something starts to interfere with your sleep, your movement, your peace of mind, that's your signal. Don't ignore it. Don't wait for it to go away. Pain might be common, but it should never be ignored, especially the kind that doesn't go away after a few days, comes on suddenly without clear cause, wakes you from sleep, is getting worse over time. So please, if you've been dealing with pain that keeps whispering or even shouting for your attention, listen. Your body is asking for help, and the sooner you respond, the better chance you have at treating it, not just covering it up. You deserve to move through life without chronic discomfort, and you deserve to know when it's time to let a doctor help carry the weight. So check in, speak up, and don't settle for hurting in silence. That's not strength, that's unnecessary suffering, and you've earned more than that. Warning sign number 6, changes in bathroom habits or bowel movements. No one loves talking about bathroom habits. It's private, it's uncomfortable. But when things change and stay changed, your body may be trying to tell you something important. I've always been regular, you know what I mean. But a couple of years ago, I noticed something was off. I was going more often, urgently. And sometimes I felt like I wasn't finished. Other times I'd go days without going at all. My appetite shifted, my stomach felt tight, but I didn't have pain, so I ignored it. That was a mistake. Eventually, I mentioned it during a checkup. My doctor ordered some tests. Turned out I had a digestive condition that needed treatment. Nothing life-threatening, but left unchecked, it could have led to a blockage or more serious issues. I share that because many seniors experience changes in bathroom habits and either laugh it off or hide it. But these changes matter, especially after 60. Your digestive system slows down, your bladder muscles change, and if you're not drinking enough water, not getting enough fiber, or taking certain medications, your whole system can shift. But sometimes those changes signal something deeper. Here's what you should never ignore: blood in the stool or urine, sudden constipation or diarrhea that lasts more than a few days, increased urgency or frequency, especially if it wakes you at night, trouble starting urination or weak flow, pain or burning when going to the bathroom, feeling like you haven't fully emptied your bladder or bowels. These could be signs of prostate issues, colorectal cancer, bladder infections or stones, diabetes, digestive diseases like diverticulitis or IBS. And yes, sometimes it's something simple, like a medication side effect or dehydration. But you won't know until you ask. Doctors understand. They hear about these symptoms every day. You won't shock them, you won't gross them out. What you might do is give them the clue they need to help you feel better and stay safer. And if you've been noticing changes but haven't had the courage to bring it up, let this be your sign. Talk to your doctor. Write it down if that makes it easier. Describe what's changed and when it started. Because your bathroom habits are a window into your internal health. They matter. Don't let embarrassment keep you from speaking up. There's no shame in noticing, only strength. Your body is asking for attention, not judgment. Give it that chance. Catch the change early, have the conversation, and reclaim your peace of mind. Because there's nothing more relieving than knowing you've caught something in time and done something about it. You don't need to panic, you just need to pay attention. These 6 warning signs, from unexplained weight loss to bathroom changes, are your body's quiet way of asking for help. Don't silence those messages. Don't ignore them. Respond with curiosity, not fear. If even one of these signs sounded familiar, please make the appointment. Ask the question. Get the checkup. And if this video helped you feel seen, informed, or empowered, please like it and subscribe to Glowing Age. We're here to help you stay sharp, safe, and strong every step of the way. Now I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you noticed any of these signs in yourself or someone you care about? Let's keep this conversation going. Because awareness isn't just knowledge, it's protection.